So I've had a few questions recently on how I do my sharpness testing. So I wanted to take you through just quickly how I do that so that you understand the process and how I test all the knives fairly. So I do my sharpening with Ken Onion Work Sharp. I believe this is a really good sharpener. I like it a lot. It's very fast. It gives you a very nice edge. So I start all the knives with a 400 grit belt. I get down to an edge where it's tapered off and it's fully sharpened with the 400 grit belt as well as I can do it. And then I go directly to a 5000 grit belt to polish the edge. I know you would normally step down the grits a little bit more in between them, but I do this for speed, and I also do it because I did this way back when I started this years ago, and that's just how I did it for the first couple knives. So I've stuck with it so it's consistent for every knife, so I'm sharpening them all the same way, I'm testing them all the same way, I'm testing them fairly. So that's how I put the edge on the knife. I stick with the factory edge generally so that you're getting a fair test of how that knife was intended to function. And then what I do with them after I've done that is I do slices through a bamboo dowel. I go back and forth between kind of the medium dowels and these thick square ones. And then I do just slices like this all the way through the dowel, each slice like so. So I'm getting all the way through like that on each one. And I do counting of those slices. So every 25 or so, I use a piece of paper and I go through the piece of paper like this, and then I slide down the piece of paper like this and see if I get a clean cut. So this one I have done for a few cuts. Once I get to the point where it starts to like leave ragged edges and sometimes tear a little bit of the paper like that on the very end there, that is when I consider the edge to be depleted, and I record that number as my sharpness number for that particular knife. Yeah, so as you see on part of that blade, it's nice and sharp. On the bottom here where I've been testing it a bunch, yeah, it starts to tear like that as I go through the paper, and that's what I consider to be the edge that's no longer sharp. So that's how I do my sharpness testing. I do it the same for all of the knives to give a good sense of what the edge holding is like. Hope that's helpful. Enjoy your adventures.